Well, we're glad you're here. Obviously, after that 36 hours, you instantly became part of the Santa Fe family, you and Gabe, and for all the time that you've been here and the outside employees, we know you're a part of this community in many ways outside of what happens in the outside magazine building next door to us. But you know, what I admire about you is you're a CEO that actually lives the kind of life that your magazine promotes, which is spending time challenging yourself in the multitudes of outdoor activities. Tell us a little bit about your own personal outside experiences that you enjoy doing here in New Mexico, and then other things that you personally like to do, outside of the state.
Sure. Well, I've at one time or another probably done everything we cover, almost at least. I haven't been much into skydiving, but just about everything else. I mean, my wife and I have climbed. We've whitewater kayaked. Of course, we love to ski. I've been sailing most of my life. Hiking, mountain biking here in Santa Fe has been a real passion of mine. Obviously, I guess that's one of the reasons why Outside wanted to be involved with the Outside Bike and Brew, which is right behind us right now, I guess, going on. And that's why we have a few brews
right.
here.
Absolutely.
It's a constantly evolving thing. I mean, as soon as a new sport or activity, outside is spun off from a core activity, I have to try it myself, right, just to see how much I'll like it or not like it or whatever. So right now I'm about to go to a surf camp down in Costa Rica. Looking forward to that. Decided I ought to get serious about surfing. Not that that's something you can do in New Mexico, but there's so much to do here that part of my challenge is just getting myself to leave New Mexico.
Sure. Well, the outdoors, such a broad market, and obviously your editors need to decide the type of content to put into the magazine on a monthly basis. And what I find in the magazine, that it's relevant to everybody. You don't have to be this ace mountain biker out there or this incredible sailor to only read the magazine. You can be looking at ways to how to jumpstart your healthy lifestyle, and there's something there in the magazine. How do you fit it all in so that the magazine just doesn't focus to a specific demographic, but really, if you haven't spent much time in the outdoors, you could pick up the magazine and there's something in there for you.
Yeah, well, that's a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge every day. It's part of the creative dynamic that you look for when you're bringing new editors on board. It's a culture that you want to pass down from editor to editor as you move through the decades and so forth. But we've learned pretty much how to balance the content, both in terms of the activities, the seasonality, our attention to the planet Earth environmentally, and travel is a huge part of our three pillars, as we like to say. So, travel's usually people have to travel to do what they want to do if it relates to the world outside anyway. So that is by necessity a huge area of content for us. And it works very nicely in attracting people to the natural resources that New Mexico has to offer.
Right.
Because we're in contact with our audience 24/7 through the internet. We message them all the time on opportunities of things they might want to do.
Right.
So the editors have to really figure out how to balance it. And we'll never really be able to find enough space to cover it all. I mean, it is a matter of selection, natural selection maybe.
Right.
And but we're trying. I mean, there's so many things to do that it's really hard to cover it all.
Yeah, I think the only way to do it is to experience the magazine, right? So if you haven't seen it, pick it up and check it out.
Burns Chavez. I'm a landscape architect at the National Park Service National Trails Office, headquartered here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, great question. So the secret's about to get out of the bag here. We administer 9 National Historic Trails out of our office, And 3 of them begin or end, depending on which way you're going, right here in the plaza in Santa Fe. Those trails are the Camino Real de Tierra Adentro National Historic Trail, the Old Spanish National Historic Trail, and the Santa Fe National Historic Trail. And I guess the question that most people want to know is, what is that? They may have heard of the trail as part of history, but not really understand what a National Historic Trail is. And the National Historic Trails were designated by Congress, so it requires an act of Congress. They're a permanent entity. They're administered by our office, which means not that the National Park Service owns or manages, like a national park unit, these trails, but we partner with essentially anyone who is in a position to further the purposes of National Historic Trails. And right here in Santa Fe, we've been doing a few things. We have a long way to go, but we're working towards our ultimate aim per the National Trail System Act, working with the city and to a larger extent the County of Santa Fe. For example, extending the river trail, which is a designated retracement route of the Camino Real de Tierra Adentro that historically connected the capital of Mexico City with the original capital of Oquehuengue, or San Juan de los Caballeros, in 1598, that Oñate established, and then the Santa Fe when the capital was moved by the new governor Peralta in 1609-10. So for that project, we're really creating a trail following the historic route as the Act envisions, and we were successful in getting Federal Lands Access Program money, partnering with the county and the city, the Bureau of Land Management and the Forest Service to extend the trail from the Camino Real trailhead that exists now, that constructed by the city of Santa Fe, out to Diablo Canyon. So that'll be about 15 miles of trail following the historic route of the Camino Real with interpretation. So that's kind of the end game of what we try and do, working with partners to create the National Historic Trail, make it a real entity, something that the public can experience, and take the pages out of the history book and make them real and relevant for the public, the American public.